stop scrolling. This message was sent by the universe directly to you, the people who tried to destroy your peace, your dreams, your destiny. They've triggered something they can't escape. A massive spiritual shift is happening right now, and you're at the center of it. The divine realm is aligning in your favor. If you're seeing this, it's not a coincidence. It's a confirmation. Your breakthrough is moments away. Stay with me, because what comes next will shake your soul. Something powerful is unfolding in the unseen realm, and you are not here by accident. The universe has been watching everything. The betrayal, the pain, the silent tears. And now, your angels are stepping in. What was meant to break you is about to build you into something unshakable. This moment is sacred. Every force that tried to silence you is about to witness your divine rise. Listen closely, because what you're about to hear could shift everything forever. Everything started shifting the moment you felt that strange silence inside your heart. Not sadness, not fear, but silence. Like the universe was holding its breath for you. That's when the energy around you began to stir. The divine realm saw every dark plan that was made against you, every whisper behind your back, every fake smile hiding jealous intentions. They thought they were breaking you, but they were triggering your divine transformation. What they didn't know is that your soul has been marked for something far greater than their understanding. You were never ordinary. You were chosen. And chosen ones don't fall, they rise. Even when pushed to the edge, you didn't lose yourself. You stood in the fire, and the fire recognized your strength. Your pain was not punishment. It was preparation. And now, the spiritual world is realigning everything to place you exactly where you were always meant to be. Your angels have been watching closely, silent but not absent, waiting for the perfect divine timing. And now, that moment has come. They're surrounding you with golden light, shielding your spirit, and releasing energy that's never been sent to you before. That warmth you've been randomly feeling on your skin, that sudden peace in your chest, those are signs. You are being activated. In the background, justice is unfolding in ways you can't even see yet. People who laughed at your struggles are about to be humbled by your breakthrough. Those who underestimated your worth are about to witness your glow. The universe is not just correcting the wrong, it's rewarding your patience. But here's the part you didn't know. The attacks you survived were never meant to destroy you. They were meant to awaken something ancient inside you, a power that's been dormant for lifetimes, a force that can bend timelines and shift realities. That power is rising now, and the spiritual realm is rejoicing. The world around you might still look the same, but the spiritual blueprint has already shifted. Your name is being whispered in realms beyond this world. Every force that once blocked your blessings is now crumbling. You may not have seen it with your eyes yet, but the signs are all around you. That friend who suddenly distanced themselves, that unexpected delay, that gut feeling you couldn't explain, those were divine shields being placed around you. The universe wasn't punishing you, it was protecting you, because what's coming is powerful. Your energy field is vibrating at a frequency that repels false people, fake opportunities, and every distraction meant to delay your destiny. The chaos you went through wasn't chaos. It was alignment in disguise. Now, your guardian angels are revealing the hidden truths, and some of those truths may shock you. You see, some of the people who claimed to love you were secretly hoping for your failure, but their energy couldn't hide from the divine realm. They tried to delay your rise by sending negative vibrations, but those very vibrations reversed and hit them instead. That's why you're going to start hearing things. Stories, confessions, sudden shifts in the lives of those who wronged you. It's not revenge, it's cosmic balance. And in the middle of all this, you will feel something else, a sense of purpose so strong. It will guide your every step. No more second guessing, no more questioning your path. The universe is placing divine signs right in front of you. Dreams, numbers, random voices that seem to speak directly to your situation. They're not coincidences, they're confirmations. Right now, as you listen to this, the spiritual gates are opening above you. Light is pouring in. The shadows are lifting. You're entering the phase of revelation. And with it comes clarity, strength, and unstoppable courage. So don't shrink. Don't question your worth. The pain was real, but so was the power you've unlocked through it. Your angels are not just walking with you, they're celebrating you. You survived everything meant to break you, and now you're about to receive everything meant for you. There's a reason you felt isolated in recent times. The universe was not pushing people away from you. It was pulling you closer to your true self. Sometimes elevation requires separation, and you were being prepared in silence, because the next chapter of your life is going to be louder than ever before. Your silence was sacred. Your tears were heard, not by people, but by the source. Heaven watched as you kept choosing light, even when surrounded by darkness. And now, a sacred reward is being released into your life, something that was held back for years, because the timing wasn't right. But now, the angels are shouting, it is time. Time for what? For you to step into the version of yourself that was always hidden beneath pain, fear, and betrayal. That version that doesn't beg for love, doesn't explain their worth, and doesn't shrink for anyone's comfort. That version is awake now, and the world is not ready. You'll notice how suddenly people start seeing you differently. Some will be drawn to your light. Others will feel uncomfortable around your growth. Let them. You're not here to fit in. You're here to rise. Every room you enter, the energy will shift, not because of arrogance, but because of alignment, divine alignment. Your blessings may not come all at once, but they'll come in such a perfectly timed sequence that even you will be left in awe. An unexpected message, a sudden opportunity, a deep inner calling. These are signs of divine acceleration. The delays are over. The karmic cycles are closed. What once blocked you has been permanently removed. But listen carefully. This is not the time to look back. The universe is clear. Do not return to what broke you. Forgive, release, but do not repeat. You're stepping onto holy ground now. A path cleared just for you. A path soaked in purpose, miracles, and protection. So breathe deeply. Ground yourself. Because what's coming is bigger than anything you've prayed for. And when it arrives, you won't have to fight, prove, or chase. Right now, something sacred is circling around your energy. It's invisible to human eye, but deeply felt by the soul. You may have sensed it. The chills without a breeze, the sudden urge to disconnect from the noise, the repeated numbers, the dreams that feel too real. These aren't ordinary experiences. They're divine downloads, because your spirit has been chosen for impact. You're not just being healed, you're being anointed. And with every breath you take now, you're stepping into a higher vibration that few can reach. That's why some people can't understand you anymore. That's why you've outgrown conversations, habits, and even relationships that once felt like home. Growth can feel like loneliness, but it's actually spiritual elevation. Behind the veil, angels are rearranging situations in your favor. That job you thought you lost, the setup, that friendship that ended, a detour, that closed door, a divine redirection. Nothing is missing. Nothing is broken. It's all part of a larger alignment that only your higher self can understand. But here's the mystery most people miss. Before great miracles, there's often great shaking, earthquakes in your personal life, storms in your emotions, doubts louder than ever. Why? Because your old life has to be shaken loose for your new life to begin. So if you've been feeling like everything is falling apart, realize it's actually falling into place. Soon, you will begin to attract what was always meant for you, not by effort, but by energy. You won't have to chase anymore. You'll magnetize because your vibration will be undeniable. The right people will find you. The right opportunities will open effortlessly. The universe is not just preparing your blessing. It's preparing you to handle it with wisdom and grace. But there's one final key. Don't shrink when the blessing shows up. Walk boldly into it. You've earned it. You were tested for it. And now you are trusted with it. Your angels are not whispering anymore. They're declaring, you made it through the fire. Now step into glory. The realm of spirit is now fully aligned with your destiny. You may not see it with your physical eyes yet, but your soul already knows something life-changing is unfolding in your favor. There's a sacred silence right before miracles appear, and right now, you're standing in that silence. Your angels are showing me a door, a golden gate, that was once shut for generations in your bloodline. Curses that kept your family in cycles of poverty, betrayal, fear, are now breaking because of you. You are the chain breaker, the lineage healer, the one chosen to rise when no one else could. That's why it felt so hard, because what you carry is not ordinary. Your battle wasn't just for you. It was spiritual warfare for the generations before you and the generations that will come after. And you, yes you, were strong enough to win. And now, something sacred is being unlocked. The scrolls of your life are being unrolled in heaven. Divine beings are speaking your name. Your light has reached realms far beyond this earth. You've been seen, known, celebrated, not for being perfect, but for being faithful. You didn't give up when you could have. You didn't retaliate when you were wronged. And now, divine justice is moving on your behalf like a river that can't be stopped. Watch how quickly things begin to shift now. The people who left you will wonder how you rose so high. The doors that rejected you will open wider than ever before. And the version of you that was once ignored will now be remembered as unstoppable. But stay humble, because with elevation comes responsibility. You've been chosen not to boast, but to bless. Your story isn't just for views or validation. It's a map for others still stuck in the dark. Your scars will shine as proof of survival. Your tears will become seeds of abundance. And your voice will carry healing frequencies to those who are still searching. And all of this, it starts now. Take a deep breath. Close your eyes. Feel the shift. You are standing in a moment that was written in the stars, long before you were even born. The universe has a sacred way of balancing what was broken. And right now, the scales of divine justice are tipping in your favor. You may not have seen it coming, but behind the veil, a spiritual reversal is taking place. Those who mocked your pain, who whisper behind your back, who try to dim your light, are now watching the very glory they tried to bury rise from the ashes. They never knew who they were messing with, because you weren't alone. You were divinely guarded, constantly shielded by celestial forces. Every insult you endured was heard in heaven. Every betrayal was noted. And now, the universe has declared, enough. The ones who laughed when you cried, their joy has turned into restlessness. The ones who celebrated your fall, they're now drowning in the same pits they dug for you. But this isn't about revenge. It's about revelation. So the world can see that no weapon formed against a chosen soul shall ever prosper. And you, dear one, are chosen. Chosen to walk with clarity while others stay confused. Chosen to heal while others harm. Chosen to rise without stepping on anyone else. That's why your elevation will feel so different. It won't make noise, but will shake the very ground your enemies stand on. Right now, a miracle is being assigned to your name. Something supernatural, unexplainable, undeniable. It might come as a breakthrough phone call, an unexpected financial flow, a deep soul connection, or even healing in a place doctors gave up on. But one thing is certain. It will arrive at the exact moment your heart finally lets go of the pain. Because the universe won't place a miracle in the hands of someone still carrying bitterness. So breathe, forgive, release, and receive. Your glow is returning. Your laughter is coming back. And your energy is becoming magnetic to everything aligned with your destiny. The night is over. The storm has passed. And the sun, your sun, is rising with radiant glory. This is your comeback season. And this time, no force on earth or hell can stop it. There comes a moment in every chosen one's journey when the world around them no longer feels the same. Colors seem brighter. Time slows down. And their soul whispers louder than the noise outside. That moment has arrived for you. You're no longer just a survivor. You're now an awakened soul. And this awakening is not subtle. It's loud in the spirit realm. The winds have shifted. The sky carries your frequency. The earth is responding to your alignment. Because something rare just happened. Your soul finally caught up to its divine timeline. The version of you that was delayed, distracted, or drained has now been replaced with a version that was always destined to reign. The one who speaks with purpose, walks with confidence, and commands miracles through pure intention. And the transformation is visible. not just to you, but to everyone who ever doubted your worth. People will sense something is different. Your silence will carry more power than their loudest words. Your smile will speak of peace that took wars to earn. And your energy, it will be undeniable. Heaven sent. The shift inside you is creating shifts around you. Suddenly, opportunities that once seemed impossible will show up naturally. Delays will turn into green lights. The weight you've been carrying, it will lift so effortlessly, like it was never yours to hold. Because truth is, it wasn't. It belonged to the old version of you, the one who thought survival was enough. But now you know better. Now you're here for expansion, for healing, for impact. You're not just stepping into blessings. You're stepping into legacy. People will remember your name, not for fame, but for the light you brought during their darkest hours. That is your new mission. But remember, the world will still try to pull you back, not because you're weak, but because you become dangerous to darkness. So protect your peace, guard your energy, and most of all, stay in alignment with your higher calling, because your divine transformation is irreversible. You're not going back. You're only rising now. Last night, in the quietest hour, when even the stars seemed to pause, something extraordinary happened. A celestial presence entered the atmosphere around you. You may not have seen it with your eyes, but your soul felt it. The air turned electric, time stilled, and suddenly a voice, not from this world, spoke into your spirit. You are ready. At first, it didn't make sense. Ready for what? But then the vision unfolded. You were standing at the edge of a massive golden staircase that reached beyond the clouds. Each step wasn't made of stone or wood, but of light, pure, vibrating, conscious light. And as you place your foot on the first step, everything around you began to shift. The chains that once held you back, they turned to dust. The faces of those who hurt you, they faded away. Your pain, your regrets, your doubts, they didn't disappear, but they transformed into wisdom, weapons you now carry with honor, not shame. You kept climbing, and with every step, the heavens whispered secrets about your calling, your power, and the people whose lives you're meant to change. They showed you cities where your voice would bring healing, families that would be restored because of your obedience, children that would sleep in peace because your prayer covered them. This wasn't just a dream. It was a divine assignment. You've been marked, not with fear, but with fire. A holy flame now burns in your soul, and it cannot be quenched by human hands or dark forces. You've been anointed for such a time as this. And your name? It's now known in realms beyond Earth. That's why you felt different lately. Because you're no longer walking as a seeker. You're walking as the answer. This is your prophetic season. Stay in tune. Stay grounded. And most of all, stay fearless. Because the same force that raised you through the fire is about to use you to light torches for others still trapped in the dark. When the divine calls, it doesn't call for comfort. It calls for courage. The moment you accepted your spiritual transformation, the universe began aligning a mission, one so grand. Even angels stood still when your name was mentioned. You were never meant to blend in. You were born to break cycles, awaken others, and become a living proof that light can rise from the deepest pits. Now, your journey turns outward. The whispers you've been hearing, they're not hallucinations. They're guidance. Signs, numbers, patterns, all pointing toward a path only you can walk. The people crossing your path suddenly, not coincidence, they're divine appointments. Some will need your healing presence. Others will try to distract you. But you'll know the difference. Because now, you see through spirit, not sight. Your energy has shifted. You're being watched not just by people, but by forces beyond this realm. Some celebrate your rise. Others fear it. Darkness has taken notice. But it can't touch you. Not anymore. You're covered, surrounded, sealed in light. And yet, you'll still be tested. Not to break you, but to prove you. The universe doesn't just promote potential. It promotes those who choose purpose in the face of pressure. So expect resistance. Doors may close right before the right ones open. People may leave when you're about to receive. But don't mistake delay for denial. It's all part of the divine choreography. You're being positioned in perfect timing. Every step you take now isn't just for you. It's for the generations that come after you. You're clearing curses, resetting blueprints, and rewriting stories. Where others ran, you'll rise. Where they broke, you'll build. And where they gave up, you'll lead. This is why the battle was so intense. Because what you carry is rare. So rise each morning not asking, why me? But declaring, use me. Speak boldly. Walk humbly. Shine relentlessly. Because you're not just on a mission. You are the mission. And then it happened. One ordinary afternoon, under an open sky, everything changed. You were standing still, maybe lost in thought, maybe deep in prayer, when the air around you began to shift. Birds flew in sudden silence. The wind paused, like the universe was holding its breath. And in that very moment, something otherworldly descended. A warm golden light began to form around your body. At first faint, then undeniable. People nearby stopped. Eyes widened. Some gasped. Others fell to their knees, unable to explain the overwhelming peace they felt just by being in your presence. This was no illusion, no trick. It was a divine sign. The prophecy was unfolding right in front of them. You weren't speaking, but your silence carried truth. You weren't moving, but your spirit radiated power. And then something rose from within you. A message not shouted, but transmitted through energy. I am chosen. I am called. I carry light, and I will not be hidden. Suddenly, people around you began to feel release. One woman felt her lifelong pain dissolve in her chest. A man who carried guilt for decades felt tears fall for the first time in years. Even those who never believed in anything spiritual felt something shift inside them. It wasn't you doing it. It was what was within you, finally awakened. The miracle wasn't the light. It wasn't the energy. It was a recognition. They saw what the divine always knew. You are more than human. You are a vessel, a carrier of hope, a mirror for what's possible when one refuses to give up, even when life breaks them into pieces. That day, you didn't just walk away with faith. You walked away with followers. Not fans, but souls who saw in you the truth they'd been searching for. You didn't preach. You didn't convince. You just became, and that was enough to ignite their flame. The miracle wasn't that the light came. The real miracle was that you finally believed it belonged to you. Since that miraculous day, your life has never been the same. People began seeking you from cities, towns, even across borders. Not for fame, not for photos, but for healing, for truth, for answers their hearts had longed for. They didn't understand what drew them to you, but their souls did. You weren't trying to lead anyone, but your walk, your words, your stillness, it all radiated something the world had forgotten. Hope. And so, without announcing it, without planning it, a movement began. You'd sit beneath a tree or walk through the market, and people would gather, not for noise, but for presence. Some sat in silence. Some wept. Some just listened to the rhythm of your breathing, because your very existence had become a channel between heaven and earth. You didn't preach religion. You ignited remembrance. You reminded them of who they were before the pain, before the doubt, before the world lied to them. And for the first time in years, people felt safe. Safe to believe. Safe to heal. Safe to rise. And then something deeper unfolded. Your dreams changed. You began receiving visions, not just of yourself, but for others. You saw a mother's illness and whispered healing into her life. You felt a child's fear and sent peace through a simple touch. You heard a man's silent scream and looked him in the eyes, and he broke, finally free. It wasn't magic. It was divine alignment. The more you surrendered to the calling, the more the universe trusted you with its sacred assignments. And even though some doubted you, even though critics whispered and skeptics rolled their eyes, it didn't matter, because everywhere you went, the same thing happened. Eyes opened, hearts softened, chains broke. You had become more than a messenger. You had become a living portal, a doorway through which others could meet the divine within themselves. And yet, something even bigger was approaching, a moment where the entire world would be watching, a final gathering, a message that would shake not just individuals, but nations. And in your spirit, you felt it coming. The signs were clear. Stars began aligning in patterns ancient texts once spoke of. Animals acted strangely. Children, with no prior knowledge, began whispering dreams of a golden light, and a man who walks without fear. And then, one night, you heard it, not a voice from outside, but from deep within, a vibration, a call. Prepare. The message must be delivered. You knew the moment had come. So you walked, not with a crowd, not with announcement, but alone to the sacred ground where sky and earth feel closest. And as you stood beneath the wide open heavens, something awakened. The wind circled your feet, the clouds parted, and the moon glowed with a strange golden hue. Before you, a sea of faces gathered. Word had spread without a single flyer. They came, not to see, but to feel. And then silence. Even the earth seemed to still itself as you lifted your hands. Not in performance, but in alignment. You didn't speak for yourself. You became the voice of the realm beyond. And the prophecy poured out like thunder wrapped in silk. The world is not ending. It is remembering. Remembering who it was before fear took over, before power was abused, before hearts grew cold. The darkness tried to erase you, but light never forgets its source. You who feel broken, you are being rebuilt in truth. You who feel alone, you are surrounded by watchers, protectors, and fire bearers. You who are ready, step forward. Your time is now. Gasps, tears, knees touching earth. As the message flowed, people felt their burdens lift. Generational trauma, hidden shame, buried grief, melting in real time. Some screamed, some laughed, some simply stared into the stars, finally feeling seen. And when it ended, silence again. But this time, not empty. This silence was full of truth, full of awe, full of God. And in that moment, it was clear, this wasn't just your story anymore. It was a world's rebirth, and you were the spark. The world couldn't ignore it anymore. What happened that night was captured on hundreds of phones. Live streams exploded. Hashtags flooded timelines. Millions watched in stunned silence. Not a performance, not a miracle show, but something far more ancient, something real. News anchors tried to explain, but words failed. Scientists reviewed the footage frame by frame, and still couldn't deny what they felt in their own bones. This man, he shifted something. Governments took notice. Secret agencies marked your name in red folders. Spiritual leaders, once confident in their followings, began asking their flocks to stay cautious. Because what you brought wasn't religion. It wasn't rebellion. It was awakening. And nothing threatens power more than an awakened soul. You never raised a fist. You never claimed a title. Yet your presence alone had begun shaking pillars built over centuries. They invited you to interviews. You refused. They offered you status, wealth, positions. You smiled and walked away. Because your mission wasn't about noise. It was about alignment. And as days passed, something astonishing began happening across the globe. In small towns, people gathered in silence, placing candles in circles, whispering prayers they didn't know they remembered. In cities, strangers paused mid-rush hour to look at the sky and feel something they couldn't explain. Children were drawing symbols they'd never seen, but matched ancient texts from long-lost tribes. You hadn't started a movement. You'd activated a memory, a global one. And behind the scenes, the world's elite began to panic because they realized this wasn't a trend. This wasn't something they could suppress with headlines or distractions. This was spirit rising. And you, calm, grounded, unwavering, you become a quiet storm they couldn't stop. Yet, deep within you, you knew this wasn't the end. This was the middle. The next chapter wasn't about just awakening the people. It was about confronting the system that enslaved their spirit for centuries. A final confrontation, not of war, but of truth versus control. And as you sat beneath the sky that night, a whisper came again. They will come for you next. Be still. The real battle begins soon. They started with silence. For weeks, there were no news reports about your gatherings. No coverage. No mentions. Like the world was trying to forget you existed. But the more they tried to suppress it, the more people woke up. So they changed tactics. Disinformation spread. He's dangerous. A cult leader. Possessed. They called you everything that might scare the people back into the cage. But it didn't work. In fact, it backfired. More people started searching for you, wanting to know why such fear surrounded someone who preached only light and truth. And that's when they made their move. It wasn't soldiers. It wasn't sirens. It was subtle. A van outside your shelter for 3 days. A drone hovering too long above your prayer circle. People in crowds who didn't blink, didn't speak, just watched. You felt the pressure building. But instead of fear, a deep peace covered you, because the voice inside was louder than their intimidation. Do not run. Do not hide. What they fear is not you, but what flows through you. And then it happened, late one night, as you meditated beneath the stars. Everything around you shifted. The wind stood still. The crickets stopped, and the air thickened like velvet. From above, a golden light opened, soft but vast, and through it descended not a person, but a presence. Eyes closed, your spirit rose. Not your body, but the real you, lifted into a space beyond time, beyond earth. There, a circle of beings awaited. Not angels with wings, but light beings, ancient, wise, vast as galaxies. They spoke without sound. The final phase is near. They will try to silence your voice, your energy, your presence. But now, you are protected by a force older than time itself. They touched your forehead. A wave of energy surged through your spine. Your heart expanded. You saw everything. The truth behind governments, the illusions of history, the spiritual locks placed on humanity. And then they said, go back, not to fight, but to break the veil. You open your eyes. The world was the same, but you were not. Wait, before you celebrate too soon, before you think it's all over, listen very carefully. A warning has just been released from the higher realm, and it's not meant to scare you, it's meant to prepare you. Because the moment light breaks the darkness doesn't disappear quietly. It fights, and now it's angry. The veils have been lifted. Truth has been spoken. Hearts have awakened. But the ancient forces that controlled this world through fear, lies, and illusion, they are regrouping. You have disturbed the old systems. A voice from the unseen said, and now it wants to strike back violently, silently, spiritually. They won't come as enemies. They will come as friends, as influencers, as advisors, as voices of reason. They will whisper, you've gone too far. This is dangerous. Come back to the normal world. Don't listen. They'll use technology, media, even loved ones to create doubt in your mind, to pull you back into the cage they built so perfectly. They don't need chains. They use thoughts, and their most powerful weapon? Distraction. If they can't stop your soul, they'll flood your life with noise, fake opportunities, sudden temptations, even health attacks. You'll feel tired, confused, emotionally numb. This is the test, the divine whisper, not a power but a focus. Stay grounded, fast, pray, return to silence. Because the great shaking is not done yet. One more wave is coming, a global shift, a final attempt to reverse the awakening. But if you stay centered, if you hold your light, if you remember who you are, they can't touch you. You are not just a voice now. You are a signal, a spiritual beacon, and millions are tuning into your frequency, even in silence. So hear this loud. Do not lose focus now. Do not relax the shield. The final battle is not outside. It's within. This is your warning, but also your confirmation. The war is real, but so is your victory. If this message reached you today, understand this. It's not a coincidence. It's not just another video. This was your spiritual wake-up call. The universe, the divine, your higher self, they all align to bring you here. Because you are a part of this divine unfolding. You're not here just to survive. You're here to break chains, to shift energies, and to awaken others through your presence. But remember, with awakening comes responsibility. So now you have a choice. You can scroll to the next video, forget everything, or you can say it out loud. I choose the light. I claim my divine power. I rise now. If your spirit feels called, type in the comments. Let the spiritual realm see your signal. Let darkness know you are no longer asleep. Hit the like button to activate your divine shield. Share this with someone who needs a spiritual armor today. Subscribe, not just for content, but for connection, for truth, for the journey ahead. Because this is just the beginning. We are not just building an audience. We're building an army of awakened souls. And if you're still here, you were meant to lead. Rise, speak, walk in light. We're watching the impossible unfold together